Hello there, Eagles fans, and welcome back to our Eagles Therapy Podcast. I'm Basil.
And I'm Baz.
And we are recording Sunday, September 22nd, 2024. Another stressful, just bad day today. We got the win, but it's so stressful and so frustrating to watch at times. It's hard to be positive. We'll try our best, but how you doing, Dad?
Well, good. I mean, we'll take it. Because last Monday night's game was rough. You know, we thought we had it in the bag, and of course we didn't. And today, of course, we didn't think we had it in the bag. And look at what happened. So, yeah. I mean, like I was saying last week, this is the NFL. Everybody's like, oh, they scored so many points and they're highest scoring. And I said, you know what, next week they might score 4 points. Yeah. Actually, I said 5. But, I mean, that's just the way it is in the NFL. And it played out right in front of our eyes. And
that's true.
If bar a few things, they would have finished with maybe 140 yards of offense today. I mean, we had the ball so much, we did so much, but yeah, it was a zany day, I'd say, in the NFL for us.
True, yeah.
Great win.
Yeah, it's strange.
I was talking to my brother. I said this is probably the best win we've had since the Elliott 61 field goal in the 2017 season. That's how big this game was, I think.
Well, we won a Super Bowl later that season, so I would disagree with you there, but that's okay.
I'm just saying that this game was right up there with it. I mean, we needed this game.
Yeah. And
we got it. So, I mean, you can't really – and holy mackerel, the defense, I'll let you take over. But my goodness gracious.
As always, we're going to go over the whole game. We're going to go over some other games, everything like that. Let's give a plug to the Philadelphia Eagles Fan Club of Colorado Springs. They were down watching the game at Rhinos this week. We were not able to go. I had to go tour the hospital today. I missed actually really didn't miss any of the game, but I was driving. My wife was driving while I'm watching on my phone. So I couldn't really, get too into it. I didn't want to be at the bar and have to leave and everything. So
right.
You get it. You were out of town for a while too. So
yeah, I got home yesterday.
Exactly, yeah. But they were down at Rhinos. We got to see a video of them chanting and cheering, so that's cool. It's good to see that.
Looked like a pretty good crowd.
Definitely. Let's get into the game. I'm going to call this segment something new. We're going to do it every game. Okay.
Okay.
It's going to be called the good, the bad, and the hurts.
Okay.
Okay. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's going to be the good, the bad, and the hurts. Okay.
Okay.
Depending on how good of a game he has. Let's go with the good first. Saquon Barkley. Wow. Saquon Barkley's he's good. He's really good. I know we're coming off a rough game the week before where he dropped that pass, would have iced the game and everything like that. Incredible he was able to put that behind him. 17 rushes, 147 yards. An 8.6 average? Yeah, 65 for a long.
Yeah.
Also had 4 targets and
9 yards.
9 yards.
2 yards.
4 catches, 9 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Like I said, it just great bounce back game for him.
2-point conversion.
Yes, he was just. Oh yeah,
it looked easy. The touchdown and the 2-pointer. I mean, the touchdown, maybe they let us score. I don't know. I mentioned that to you. But the 2-pointer, they're definitely not going to let. And he just walked in. Yeah. So it just showed you the offensive line today.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, the offensive line. Let's go into Dallas Goedert. We went on this show in our preview episode, and we talked about, dude, we got to get this guy the ball more. He was in my biggest preview point. Why are we not giving this guy the ball? What is going on? They listened.
Man.
I think Nick Sirianni watched the episode.
I think you're right.
More. And they watched and they saw that they let him get 10 receptions for 170 yards, 61 for a long, 11 targets. He looked great. He looked as good as he ever has. I mean, he looked amazing.
Yeah.
It was great to see him finally get his chance to shine in this offense, which he should be doing.
I agree, and they should be using him more. We talk about it every single week, I think.
Especially when AJ's hurt.
Yes. But why are they not using him part of the offense? What was it, the first week of the season, first pass play went to Calcaterra, and I looked at you and I went, okay, let's use these tight ends. And then it just kind of melted for 2 games.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but I mean, it was great to see. Hopefully that kind of will draw a little attention that way so some of these other guys that aren't the big names can get open, because it was a nail biter all day long.
Let's go to the defense. So the defense, unbelievable. Highlighted by the play of Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. They stepped up huge. Milton Williams even played well as well. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I thought, played pretty well. He didn't do too great on the coverage there, but he had another huge stop on the third down play.
Booker, VG, these guys all played great.
All along.
It was amazing.
The last thing we expected to see in this game, really.
The
last thing I expected.
The Saints being the highest scoring offense this year so far. And again, every week's going to be different. So you can't go off that. It's so funny. I say it every year. week 4, week 5, this team's going to the Super. No, they're not. We just stop. It happens every single year.
Of course,
okay. But on another note was, as we were watching that game, we were the interior line was great, and it seemed to me that every time we didn't box the end, they would get a 10-yard carry.
Yeah.
I was screaming at the TV. And then eventually it looked like our guys were getting a little bit outside their tight ends or their ends, boxing the end, and they had nowhere to run. And then later in the game, they gave up one, and I went, box the end. It was amazing. The defense, the linebackers were amazing. The defense was
incredible. I was blown away. Total in passing yards, they only had 130. In rushing yards, they only had 89. Total of 219. That's incredible. Keeping a team under 250 yards in this league nowadays,
especially at home.
Yeah, 250 passing yards is a normal thing. And I know, this year passing yards has been down, but that's a normal thing. So 219 yards and only one sack, but that sack by Davis was incredible. We talked about Davis already, but that sack was great. Derek Carr. He froze. He was scared. It's like he saw this 350-pound dude and was like,
like Pike's Peak was coming out.
Yeah, he just dropped. He's like, I'm done. I can't do it.
And we both kind of went, wow. We were saying Davis had to make that sack, and if he had gotten around him, it would have been awful. But just the move, he didn't fake him. He just went right and just kind of bowled over him.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see a little bit more of that from him and Carter.
But Carter was just getting his hands up, blocking passes, getting in the face of Carr. Didn't get a sack or a stat, but he was still back there.
I think I have 3 tackles, 1 assist, but I know at least one of them was behind the line of scrimmage on that one play that Davis did the old Reggie White harumph on top of him after the tackle. That interior was great today. Even Booker played well. He had made some plays. I got to go back and rewatch, but there was the defense I can't say enough about.
Yeah.
The offense, on the other hand, I'll let you handle.
Yeah, well, another big thing I'm going to say about the defense real quick, just to throw a name out there. Reed Blankenship got that interception at the end of the game. He had a pretty steady game. He wasn't out of place. You didn't hear his name a lot, so he played really well. And he had that interception to seal the game. Let me see what his defensive stats were. I didn't pull that up.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1 second. I have that on here. All right, just 2 tackles, which is good. It shows you that our defensive line and our linebackers were stopping the tackles at the front and not letting it get to Reed in the backside. But his interception to seal the game at the end was incredible.
Yes.
He's had that pick several times.
It's always a diving pick.
He did it against the Packers week 1. He did it in his first pick back in 2022 against the Packers.
Yes.
He knows that play. He's got it down. And just to touch on that, he's got 6 interceptions, and that's in his first 28 games.
Wow.
It's the first Eagles player to have that many interceptions in his first 28 games since Eric Allen, who had 12 in 28. So there's a little bit more to push Eric Allen for the Hall of Fame.
He's amazing. He's a great player.
One more positive I have off the defense, but let's just say real quick again, the defense played phenomenal. Fred Johnson and Tyler Steen, big positive. They came in, and really there was like one play that I was like, oh, they missed this, but after that they were fine.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like we were missing anything. It didn't feel like we were without a 40% of our line. It didn't feel like we were struggling. They really came in and they held up really well. I'm pretty sure the Saquon touchdown was when both of them were in. They played. I thought they played really well.
That play was the one we saw the replay of where the center kind of pulled a little bit and then they just sealed it off. And then the way Barkley was running sideways, also running north-south at the same time, and just got away from that DB who just couldn't even get close to him.
Incredible.
It was a home run. It was amazing because I can't say we were pretty. We had so many yards, but we just couldn't do anything. It seemed like 3rd and 2, penalty, 3rd and 6.
Yeah.
3rd and 2, again, 3rd and 7. It was just all day, 2 steps forward, 3 steps backwards. And then we finally needed that punch to just do whatever. And it was incredible. It was incredible.
Big shout out to the Fred Johnson and Tyler Steen, and even bigger shout out to Jeff Stoutland. Just shows you how powerful of an offensive coach he is, offensive line coach he is, to have your guys in the right mindset and be ready to step in for big time players. Becton, I know he's the first time at the guard and everything, but our right tackle, Lane Johnson, is the best right tackle in the NFL and in the running for best right tackle in NFL history. So, that's just so huge to have him, to have a guy come in and be ready to play that backup position. Yeah. We've seen this before with Jack Driscoll. We've seen this before where guys came in and they were able to take care of it right away, and it's just incredible to see it happen.
It is amazing to see that. Early on, we had a little bit of this and that going on, but man, those guys came in they were solid after that. There was I don't think there was any holding calls on them late in the game, when we couldn't afford it. I mean, there were some weird penalties. We had a couple, motions and things like that lined up wrong on the outside. Seemed like every time we had something going, we kicked ourselves in the foot. But to be able to pull that out today with 2 linemen down, 2 wide receivers down, it was incredible. I mean, definitely. There's not much I can say. It was just amazing. And it's the first game we've gone into in a long time and just really did not think, boy, it's going to be a tough one today.
Yeah, it's true.
So, yeah, it was pretty exciting and great play.
Let's get into the bad.
Okay.
And these are just notes I was taking throughout the game. So it's anytime something came out of mind, I wrote it down. I didn't have a lot to write down in the fourth quarter because, like I said, I was watching on my phone, but I didn't have time to write down things and everything. So, number one, Bryce Huff set the edge on the first play, and then he never did again. Right. So it's still a worry. We need to see this guy do a little bit more. We need to see him in the back getting some pressures. I still don't think he's logged a single pressure. I believe he finally has some stats as far as tackles. No, he's not on here at all. So I don't think he's logged a single statistic as far as pressures, sacks, tackles, nothing. Right. So I'm really concerned about this. It might not be the worst idea to start having Nolan Smith be the starter on that side. I don't know. But it just seems like we got to do something.
I'm going to say we did have some pressures.
Never from him. I did not see Huff back there.
But I know he, like you say,
Sweat was close.
BG had some great plays in there too.
Williams, Carter.
Again, I'll have to go back and watch. But I do know, there was times that Huff. I know we set the corner a little bit more than once, but there was a few times that I kept yelling. But it just really worked because they were shutting it down inside, and that's really the strength of our defense that we got to continue. They were getting close a few times, closer than I thought they would after last week's game, where they just could not get to anything. So, but yeah, it was encouraging to see. Hopefully, Huff and Sweat doesn't have any sacks yet either. So it's really the interior line that have done it so far.
True.
But yeah, it's
bad.
Yeah,
but need to get more from our edges, dude. This is so bad.
What were they getting 2 yards of carry in the beginning, first quarter, first half?
Yeah, I think in the first quarter they had 2 yards per play.
Yeah,
and they were averaging 7 before that.
They had 50 yards passing at halftime.
I have written down the Josh Sweat. He jumped off sides. How does this happen in the NFL? I just still don't understand. You're taught from a high school age to watch the ball, not the right tackle. Yeah. What are you jumping off sides for?
32, I think.
Kellen Moore's play call is just genuinely confusing the entire game, even into the fourth quarter. After the Goddard catch, Jalen throws that deep ball to Goddard, which really was not a great pass. Goddard had to jump up to catch it.
Okay, yeah.
I remember that one earlier.
The jump one, yeah.
Yes, great catch by Goddard. What'd they do after that, Dad? They run a Jalen design run, and he goes to the side, and he loses a yard. He gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And it's just, I don't understand this. Yeah. He didn't give the ball to Saquon.
Get under center and give it to Saquon, and let's see what we can get on first down.
I just don't get it. I don't understand. Yeah. It's bad.
There was a few times in that game that it was questionable. Really, you watched it. You saw the half, the way we moved the ball certain times, and other times it seemed like we were just behind the 8 ball continually.
Yeah.
Another thing is actually, kicking the field goal when we need the points now. I think that's going to change.
That's a thing that I think
next few weeks.
I think going forward after this week and last,
yeah.
I don't think they're going to take up kicking a field goal ever again.
Yeah.
Because now I'm going to go ahead and say this, and I know this is probably a stupid thing to say, but it seems as though Jake Elliott's a little bit out of practice now. Yeah. Now, he only attempted one, and it was 60-yarder, which is supposed to kind of now it's kind of easy. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's not if you're not kicking at all.
But he's not kicking at all. He's kicking extra points, and that's it. Has he kicked it? He's definitely
extra point today. That's it. We went for 2 on the second one.
So he kicked twice in Green Bay, twice in Atlanta. One was 38, one was long of 38, one was a long of 29.
Right.
That's it. He's not going. He hasn't tried from deep at all.
Yeah.
And it's concerning. He needs a little bit more practice.
And today was 1 extra point and 1 missed field goal, which again I saw some Facebook stuff. Now we're going to kick it.
Yeah. Now we're kicking it. Yeah.
Put them back we've been stopping them all day. Let's put them back at the 10-yard line. Yeah. It's like we had it backwards, especially right before half. I know you wanted us to get the first down and try and kick the field goal, 3-3 halftime. We know going into half, we're getting the ball in the second half. You take the points. You have to take the points.
And that's my next note I had.
Okay,
that was terrible. No, just the end of the half, they try to get the first down. And I understand idea of, okay, we get the first down. It gives us 9 seconds because we call our last time out. Gives us one shot at the end zone. If we don't make it, we'll kick a field goal. But points are the most important thing right there.
How confident would you have been if we went for it on it got the first down there, and now it's
first and 10 with 9 seconds.
10 with 9 seconds. I mean, they've been forced throws all day.
Hurts would have thrown a pick or got sacked.
Well, another interception into the end zone. I mean, I know it was a tough play. My brother was saying, Devontae should have made the move on that, but, we're throwing in the double coverage the whole day. Quit forcing it. Let's take what they give us.
Well, let's stay off Hurts because we're going to have a whole section on Hurts.
I do want to say one thing. Hurts did throw to 8 different receivers.
That's cool. I don't care about that. Because how many did they catch? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, not many.
I'm just kidding.
Not many. Go ahead.
No, they did. He actually had great completions. But let's go into Becton. He didn't look too good. I was a little worried. Then he got hurt. So hopefully everything's okay with him there.
That would have been a hurt.
There was a time where I was
a little
worried.
hurt. Let's pull him out because he did not look so good.
Maybe
he was a little slow, I think.
But I saw him. When he ran and someone got tackled, he took a hit and fell, and we were like, "Oh, he's down." Yeah. That was right after he had a bad play. But Johnny Wilson, he made a great play on third down. He gets the first down. Remember when we were on our own red zone? It was great. And the next play, he gets called for a hold. Yeah. And you're just like, dude.
Yeah.
And I think this is his third holding penalty he's had on him.
Right.
He's held several times.
Yeah, we got it.
And it's a tad bit concerning because he's 6'7", so he should be annihilating these guys he's blocking on the outside.
But not just that. You got to know you're down. You got to know what's happening. Like when he held that guy was not going to make the tackle on that play. So just get in his way and push him away and let your running back get those yards because we ended up, I believe, getting a first down on that play, but then we lost the yards to the holding call.
The blocked punt, it was just a matter of time. It was one of those things where I was like, I wasn't shell-shocked. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't like, no. I was just kind of like, yeah, that seems about right. Like, it makes sense to happen now.
Yeah,
like, I wasn't – it's funny. It wasn't even a moment of – there's times when your team gets a punt blocked, you're like, oh, because it's the last thing you expect. You're like, all right, just punt the ball. We'll deal with it later. Yeah. When that happens, you're like, oh, I literally was just kind of like, yeah, it makes sense. It's about time it happened. Yeah, good thing it didn't lead to anything.
Yeah,
that's the great thing.
They didn't even get any points out of that.
I don't believe so.
No, they didn't.
So, I mean, good thing it didn't lead to anything.
Never the 23-yard line.
Another big testament to the defense today. And the defense all season long in the red zone has been really good. I'm going to say that, too.
They just got gashed Monday night with the rushing, and I just couldn't put that away. And today was amazing. So,
yeah. I have one more negative on Johnny Wilson. In the fourth quarter on the 2nd and 16, Hurts threw it to him. And he had a guy on him, but it hit his hands. It went right through, and he dropped it. And I got flashbacks. I got some Vietnam flashbacks to the Eagles-Lions game back in 2019 when J.J. Arcega-Whiteside dropped that touchdown right in his hands. Yeah. I thought of that, and it worried me because that's what J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, his big thing was, he's a really good blocker and everything, and that's the big thing they have with Johnny Wilson. Right. So I got a little bit of Vietnam flashback, a little bit of anxiety from that. Yeah. Hopefully we get a little bit more from Johnny Wilson than that.
I'm surprised he was in that much today. He was in a lot. Of course, we know why, of course. But
has to be. But at that point, Devontae was already out.
Yeah, that was another thing. I don't know if you're
– and Covey was out.
But Covey went out early with the shoulder. I knew he got hurt on that one hit. I mean, he got pounded. But at least he got the first down, which was awesome, and that's what they're looking for out of him. But, he's got to know how to get out of there and not take that shot.
Next thing, penalties. We had 7 penalties against us. Most of them – self-inflicting, just pretty brutally bad. What are you doing? Yeah. And 12 men in the huddle. How does this happen, and why is this a penalty? I have to state that every time this has ever been called in NFL history, or any time I've ever seen it called, I'm always just kind of like, so why is this a big deal? The guy's going to leave. If they go, there's 12 of us, hey, go. Yeah. Okay, someone knows the play. Oh, no. Yeah. I don't understand.
Yeah,
I've never understood why that's a big deal. Yeah. If there's 12 men on the field and the defense brings 12 guys on, they just say, there's 12 and 12, go, leave. Yeah.
Plus, I never liked that. The guy's running off the field. He's a half a yard from going out of bounds. He's not in the play. He's not making the play. Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, some of those penalties.
It's not even 12 men on the field. It's 12 men in the huddle. Yeah. There's 30 seconds till the play's being called. Yeah. It's okay that he's here. Go, leave. Why is this a big deal?
It is kind of funny. I'm surprised.
I haven't done research on why that's a penalty. If you know, let me know, because I just do not understand why that's a big deal.
I'm surprised we only had 7 penalties. It seemed to me I guess maybe that's because I watched a couple games later. And the last game we just got done watching, there was a flag on every play.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, every single play.
Yeah. And then, good positive, kind of, but it's in line with the penalty. No ineligible man downfield today.
That's true.
That's good.
That's right. I was waiting for that one. Yeah.
That's a win. Well, I thought it was about to happen, and then Jalen took off running, and I was like, okay, good. Because I thought I saw someone. It might have been Gainwell, but I thought I saw someone down there.
They might have talked to the refs about that, because I didn't see that in any of the other games we watched either. Yeah. That just wasn't one. We did have the one where Devontae was on the line, and that one I never understand too. You got to be behind the line of scrimmage or whatever. But
yeah, well, he was on the line. He wasn't off. It was all that stuff.
So I mean, the good thing about the two offensive linemen, they didn't have any lineup problems. We did have, I think one of them moved early on one. I think Fred Johnson might have.
I thought Fred Johnson had a false start. They didn't call it, and it might not have been. He just twitched his leg as if he was kind of like getting ready and put it in the right different spot, but it looked like it. But all right, I'm going to move. Ready to go to the Jalen Hurts section?
Sure.
Okay, I have the Hurts section.
Go ahead.
I have one overarching statement to say about all the other things. It just kind of is an umbrella. Jalen Hurts has no pocket presence. He has no understanding of what is happening around him. He has no awareness at all. I don't understand. And I've never seen a player with such great protection get sacked so many times and have such horrible plays. So I have a list of 4 plays.
Okay.
On the interception, pocket broke and went to the right. Everyone went to the right. Landon Dixon had his guy to the right. Jordan Mailata has his guy to the right. And to the left, Jalen Hurts had about 30 yards of field, wide open.
2 or 3 guys went out.
Yeah, wide open. And I'm not saying, take off and run, but move that way. And then, okay, now there's stuff happening. And then what he does, when he's got no one coming at him, he throws an interception. He had no pressure whatsoever. He forced the ball. I'm so confused about that. He had 30 yards of field to his left.
Yeah, he did.
His pocket awareness, it's just not real. On the fumble, where he got sacked fumble,
yes,
he had about 6 to 7 seconds of protection. I did it. I watched it and everything, counted it, and he had about 6 to 7 seconds of protection, 6.5.
Right.
He takes off running, holding the ball like a loaf of bread,
right,
and gets knocked out of his hand.
Of course it is. That's what they do.
I'm going to say at the end of all this, on 4th and 3 in the third quarter, I think with 8 minutes left, New Orleans 34-yard line, he had the pocket, kind of broke down, stepped up right into a sack. And it was 4th down, 4th and 3.
Right.
Can't take a sack there. It's the only thing he can't do.
No.
And then on 1st and 10 in the 4th, right before the huge Goddard play, he takes a 6-yard sack after 5 to 6 seconds of protection. This guy has no pocket presence. He has no awareness of the pocket. I'm so confused about that.
You see so many of the quarterbacks, they got that sixth sense. They know how to roll to the left
know what to do.
Move back or something.
He has none of it.
And, unfortunately, like you said, on one sack, I know which one you're talking about. He starts weaving in between the linemen that are blocking, and he's barely almost getting grabbed by guys that are reaching for him. But then, like you say, he'll turn and all of a sudden just be tackled, and you're like, you got to know to get rid of it, especially that part of the game in that last 2 minutes.
Well, thank God the Saints players ran into each other. And thank God Goddard can catch the ball here, because that pass to Goddard that went 60 yards, almost touchdown, was a horrible pass. I won't say it was horrible. It wasn't in the ground, but it was not good. Yeah. Thank God Goddard caught that. It's the only thing that kept the game alive. I don't know. I don't know what we teach this guy. I don't know what he can learn. I don't know where. I don't know where the evolution is going to be. When is he going to learn?
How many more seasons does it take?
How many seasons is it going to take to learn this?
Stop throwing off the back foot.
This is brutally bad. Where is the pocket presence? There's none. Okay. Yeah. Jeez, I'm sorry. I had to get that out.
It's okay.
Injuries. Lane Johnson, left with a concussion. Devontae Smith, left with a concussion. Might I add, on a very confusing play,
yes,
he was pushed back 7 yards.
With 3 guys.
3 seconds, and they didn't throw the whistle.
And then
he got nailed.
Yeah, some guy comes blindsiding and nailed.
And no flag, no whistle.
No flag.
What the heck?
Yeah, I'm
trying my best not to cuss right
now.
That's funny
because I did watch that play again, and I'm thinking, well, maybe it was 2 seconds that I thought were 5 seconds. No, he took like 7 steps
Yeah, backwards.
And he was tackled. I mean, not tackled, but grabbed.
Yeah.
Then another guy grabbed him, and the third guy, and then they take him back like another
no penalty. I'm so confused.
Yeah.
And how is the whistle not blown earlier?
I
see
guys
still
alive.
I see guys nowadays get held up for a second. Oh, it's dead.
Yeah.
I also see guys nowadays who get held up for 4 seconds. Then they get pushed in from behind, and then it's a touchdown. Well, he was held up for 4 seconds. I don't understand.
And he was going backwards, and he had gone like you said, he had to go at least 10 yards.
Yeah.
And then this guy comes in and just plows him, and there's not even a thought of a penalty. And you're like, what happened there? How does that work?
One of the most angry feelings I've had.
And I don't like to get into the whole hurting the player thing, but when that one lineman took Slay 10 yards out of bounds, I know you and I still argued about it, but that was the third and fourth play. They got the first down in the same play while that play was still happening, and that guy ran him in, and they give him a first down, then they move him back 15. Yeah. I don't agree with that. That's on the same play. If it was, on the other side of the field or somebody, it was on the side of the field that he was blocking. And this guy took him all the way into the bleachers. And they called the penalty, but they let the first down happen. I thought it should have been 3rd and 19 after that.
Yeah.
So I maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to learn the rules. But, when you see a play like that and it's the continuation of the same play, it was just a bad one. And, again, I don't want to get into that, but that the hit on Devontae, I mean, I saw some roughing the passer in a later game there. And I'm like, how do they call that, but they don't call this penalty where he just gets knocked unconscious practically?
Yeah.
And that's funny. The other thing about the Lane, I didn't see him get hit where he had this concussion. So I don't know what happened there. But someone said they had seen him throwing up on the sidelines. They said that during the game. I think it was Samantha Fox or whoever's on the sidelines. But she said something throwing up earlier. So I thought, well, maybe he was ill going into the game. And then, they had to come out because he just was too sick. But anyway, yeah, it was tough. No AJ, no Devontae, no Johnson. Becton went out. Covey went out. We had a blocked punt. We had a missed field goal. And we still win the game. On the road.
Incredible.
Against the team that scored the most points so far this season.
It's incredible.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about that Devontae one more and more. And I guess Jordan Mailata in an interview said it was like the dirtiest thing he'd ever seen. And there are some clips online. I didn't tell you yet. Sorry.
Right.
There were some clips online that looks like, I'm sorry. It was C.J. Gardner-Johnson who said it was one of the dirtiest things. Looks like one of the Saints players got up and spit on Devontae after I don't know if this is completely true. I saw some clips. It does look like the guy gets up and looks down and kind of makes a motion. I don't know for sure, but it was kind of disappointing to hear that might have been what happened.
Well, good. They lost. So
that's a good thing. Now I kind of hate this.
Not just good. I mean, this loss to them was probably worse than the one we felt Monday night.
Yeah.
They thought they were
especially because they had a sack and it was 3rd and 16.
Yeah, they thought they were so darn good, and it's funny because I was watching the game with Monday night with my sister and my brother, and we're watching the game and like, oh man, we got to play, them next week. And I said, hey, you know what? They might not score any points next week. It's the NFL. That's the way it works. Because I was trying to convince myself we had a shot, and we won the game, and puts us in a good spot, I think. With some of the other teams, it would have been nice to win that game. But
winning this game just made me more frustrated about last week.
I know.
And I told you, but I'm just like, it's just painful because we could be, not should be. I'm not going to say should.
You're right.
We could be 3-0.
Yes.
Dallas is
2-0 in the conference.
Yes. 3-0 in the conference.
You're right. You're right.
3-0 in the conference.
Yes.
Dallas is 1-2. San Francisco is 1-2.
Yes.
Minnesota's 3-0 now. This
is great because we did watch the later games, so we're not going to.
We'll talk about them in a second.
Yeah, but that was beautiful. I mean, it was nice to see that, and I would say both of those two teams got another kick in the stomach because they weren't very good. They were bad losses, both at home.
True. Well, let's go into that. So let's start with some other games. So the Giants, they defeated the Browns 21-15, which how is that even a possible score? How do you get 15?
Well,
5 field goals?
No, probably a touchdown and went for 2, 7 and 8.
You're right. So, I'm sorry. Yep, they went.
That's how we scored 15.
That's true. Oh yeah, we got 15.
That's right. We weren't looking. We were just looking to see that we were up by 3.
This game was a blur, man. That's the thing. I wasn't looking at the score. I just wanted to see our number highlighted.
Okay, I got one more thing I want to say.
Oh,
you go ahead. No, you do. Okay. Well, my thing is the field goals. These guys are kicking 65-yard field goals like it's nothing now. So the NFL's got to change the kickoff. If it goes out of the end zone, you get the ball at the 20. Putting it to 30 now, for him to kick a 65-yard field goal, they only had to get 35 yards of offense. It's ridiculous.
To me, the 25-yard line was bad.
Yeah.
I was like, that's too good. And now the 30-yard line, it needs to be back
scoring enough. Everyone's scoring enough. And if you get a 3-0 halftime game like today, that's all right. It was a great game. But to put it at the 30, and if there's some stupid penalty at the 35, I mean, these guys only need to get 30 yards of offense and can kick a 65-yard field goal. I saw more than one today, too. So it's just got to change. It's ridiculous. Especially for the indoor teams. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah, it's ruining.
Let's go into the games now. Okay, so Giants defeat the Browns 21-15. We didn't really get to catch much of that one because earlier in the game, we had it on the screen over there, but no, I don't think I had that one on the screen, did I?
Not really, no.
We had the Eagles and Saints on one, the Browns, the 4 other games over here. I can't remember exactly what they were. But, so I didn't get to really catch much of that game. But the Giants win, which is good kind of good. We don't want them to have the best pick, really. You know what I mean? Like, we kind of do want
they got to win a couple.
We need them to win some games at some point. You know what I mean? Baltimore defeated Dallas 28-25. If you want an example of how, I'm not a full believer in the whole, the NFL's rigged, but there's something to it. And I know Dallas, I don't think they're a bad team. I think they're a good team. So obviously, coming back to win games is a big thing. Like, I think they can do it. But in the way it happened, it's just one of those things where you go, I feel like someone called and said, hey, the viewers are down. We need them to score some points. Let's go.
It's 3rd and 15.
There was a couple plays where you and I were like, come on, did that Baltimore defender just dive before the ball was thrown? Like, what is he doing?
Well, the worst one was the late hit. Was the
roughing the pass. That might have been the worst roughing the pass call ever.
The guy hit him around the mid-range, didn't do it, pushed him backwards.
The funniest part was I think they actually got a live in-game decision because if you watch the replay of when it happened, if you actually watch the game live, not the replay because that doesn't really show it, Dak gets tackled, or he throws the ball, he gets hit, he gets tackled, he's on the ground, and you see the 2 referees looking there, and you're like, okay, cool, that play's over.
Good, they didn't call it. Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, there's a flag, and you're like, whoa, I didn't see either of them throw it.
Well, not just that.
I didn't see him throw it.
Then the guy
reach for it.
The announcer says, well, it looks like he might have hit him and picked him up and slammed him to the ground, which he didn't do in that either. No. And you're like, okay, now you gave him a first down. There was going to be 4th down in like 15 or 8. It's just ridiculous. I mean,
I think I really think there was a call. I think there was a call made from some of the NFL office and said, "Hey, we need some points here. We need to get people bet the under. We need to get the over, something like that."
Because that game was over, 28-6. Baltimore even stopped. You could see they stopped. They're like, "Okay, we're running for 280 yards today. They looked like they stopped." And I'm like, "Guys, just keep going." Nope. They threw it on 3rd down, and they were like 3rd and 3, and it took the 40, and it's just ridiculous.
No, there was something in play. The Seahawks, they defeated the Dolphins 24-3 to go to 3-0.
They look good.
They look good. I'll give it this. They did play the Dolphins, but they played an NFL team. But Geno threw 2 interceptions, so he's not the same as he was.
Right.
DK Metcalf, 104 yards and a touchdown, looked really good. What's that?
Carbonneau, running back, did pretty good.
Yeah, Chardonnay.
I call him Carbonneau.
Charbonnet. 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. He looked pretty good as well. But, yeah, as far as the Seahawks, they do look pretty good. I still not buy into the whole Geno thing. I think he's a good player. I think he's a great player. I think we would have beat them last year if they played Geno.
Yeah.
I really do. And then they played Drew Lock, and it was our kryptonite for some reason. But that goes to 3-0 for them. Big one for us. Rams defeat the 49ers 27-24. That was great. We had that on the side TV as we were watching the Cowboys get beat. Yeah. And it was really nice to see both teams get beat at the same time, especially having one earlier in the day. It was just nice to it's just extra. But it was extra infuriating because I'm just like, see, now we should be 3-0.
Yeah.
We could be 3-0, and they're 1-2 each.
The Niners, they were up 21-7. They ended up losing 27-24. So it was good to see the Rams come back. Like I said, we didn't see much. We didn't think much was going to happen in that game.
No.
Purdy was running like crazy. He did a lot running.
I typed in the notes before the game was over. I typed in 49ers defeated Rams waiting for the score. Right. So I had to change that completely when they came back.
Well, it was last second. Like they got the ball back.
Right. It was great. Nice crushing loss. Vikings, they defeat the Texans 34-7. Big surprise. I actually did at work we do weekly predictions. I did pick the Vikings to win. However, I did expect a much closer game. I didn't expect a blowout, especially from the Texans. Just very, very surprising. I really expected more. Genuinely surprised there.
Right.
I'm pretty good on my picks. I also picked the Steelers to beat the Chargers.
Steelers won again. Another game against the team. They both kind of eked it out. 20-10 or something like that.
Yeah. Yep. It was 20-10. That's right.
Herbert might have went out in that game. I wasn't really paying attention.
That's why I originally picked the Chargers, but I changed it because he spoke about how he was having an ankle injury, and I was like, I don't trust this.
Yeah.
So the Steelers go to 3-0. I wasn't even going to mention them, but I didn't want to say that. And then the last, two more big ones. Big one: Lions defeat the Cardinals 20-13. So that pushes the Lions to 2-1. 2-1, right?
Yeah, kind of a stinker game. We didn't really watch much, but after the powerhouse Cardinals last week putting up all those points and looking really good, apparently they were home again, but Detroit brought the defense, I guess.
They did pretty darn good. And then lastly, I've got this because, of course, we're in the Denver area, so we talk about the Broncos sometimes, but also we're playing Tampa Bay next week, so big to see.
Well, Tampa Bay's 2-0, right?
2-1. Tampa Bay.
They got beat good.
Yeah, Broncos beat Tampa Bay 26-7. Pretty good game there by the Broncos.
That's just surprising because we've watched the Broncos a couple of weeks. You were at the game last week, and Bo Nix up and down, but he must have done really well today.
So he ran for a touchdown. He did not have any passing touchdowns.
Okay.
He had a pretty good day on the ground, 9 for 47. And then pretty good day in the air, 25-36 for 216. Okay. 85 ratings.
Yeah, the big thing on him was he's throwing the 2-yard passes all the time, so maybe they let him open it up a little bit. But I don't know. We didn't see much of that game. I'll have to watch the highlight reel, but to see why Tampa Bay lost, because they had looked pretty good. I thought they looked really good last weekend. Yeah. A little, not really scared, but, I was just thinking, okay, after this Saints game that,
it just depended how this week went. Now it's a good thing because we're,
we're on the road again, but they lost a home game. Yep, that's right.
I know. Yeah. Into some other sports. Do you have anything else on football or anything else on the Eagles?
Not really. I think that's all I've got. Just the total yards you already said. The passing yards was good. We had 6.9 yards per play. They had 4.0 yards per play, so we really did shut them down. 20 first downs to their 12. So third down efficiently wasn't so good for us, as we know, because we kept going from 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 7. But other than that,
it's bad.
That's all.
It's really bad. Nothing on the 76ers. The Phillies, they lost to the Mets yesterday. They're looking to split the series today. They're in the top of the 4th, tied 1-1 against the Mets. We got 2 on but 2 out, so we'll see what happens there. The Union, I had that pulled up as well. They were winning last I checked 3-0. They win 4-0 against the DC United. On a bit of a run there. I don't know. I don't know. They're in the play-in section of the playoffs. I don't know exactly how this really works.
Right.
I don't even know if
it's actually the top 8 teams make it.
Something like that. So they play them maybe to get to the 8th seed, I guess. Not too sure. Flyers, nothing. Penn State, they're going on to 3-0. Should rise in the rankings this week. They had to put up a pretty good, convincing win, 56-0 against Kent State. I know you and I are the same.
Wake me up when they play somebody.
That's the thing. It's like, why are we playing Kent State?
I mean,
it's just a bummer. 56-0, come on. But hopefully that should get us up in the rankings a little bit because some other big teams
the big games are coming up. So
that's the thing. We're going to be playing, I believe.
USC and UCLA.
I think we got we got Illinois next week. Okay. Then we go on the road, I think, to take on you stay home for UCLA.
Cool.
And I think right after UCLA we have USC, yeah. So it's back to back, and that's in California.
I knew that was going to be it, but that's big. I mean, we're in the Big 12 now, which is Big 18.
18 teams, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, they got to quit doing that.
But hopefully we jump up in the rankings out of 10, go to maybe 7 or 8, something like that. But you got anything else, my man?
No, I don't. Good day today, Good
day for football, yeah. Good day for Eagles fans.
Last week I was on the road, so I couldn't really watch all the games. The week before I had some issues as well, so had to work. So, today was my first
today your first full football day. Yeah.
Started at 9 in the morning. Games come on at 11. It was nice.
And the games are about to start right now. Oh, game's already on.
Oh.
Falcons are about to score. Just kidding. No, they're not going to. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. If you like Our Eagles Therapy Podcast, do us a favor. Rate and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe down below. You can email us any questions at oureaglestherapy@gmail.com. But other than that, from all of us here at Our Eagles Therapy Podcast, I'm Basil.
And I'm Baz.
Go Birds.
Fly, Eagles, fly.